Hey Math 7, so in this video we are going to continue our work with graphs of proportional relationships, and we are going to work through an example about a video game. In that video game, for every 3 coins that you collect, you are going to earn 4 points. So with that little piece of information, we are going to, step 1, create a table of values. Step 2, just like we did before, we're going to create a graph to represent the relationship. And then steps 3, 4, and 5, we are going to use the information from the graph to answer a couple questions and interpret the information that we have. So again, all we need to think about is 3 coins collected gives you 4 points. So first thing we practiced before when we did tables, we have to decide which variable is independent and which is dependent. So if you think about it, the number of points that you earn depends on the amount of coins that you collect. In other words, the coins is your independent variable, which we always use as our x, meaning that the points, which depends on the amount of coins, the points is dependent, so that's going to be our y variable. So we're going to go down and start setting up our table. Again, we know coins is going to be the x, and points, we'll say points earned, is going to be the y. And again, they have to give us a piece of information to start our table with, and we know that for every 3 coins, we are going to earn 4 points. So they want us to fill out the rest of this table. Again, let's just practice by using equivalent ratios. So maybe we can multiply by 2 on both sides, saying that, well, if we earn 6 coins, if we collect 6 coins, we would earn 8 points. Oops. And then maybe we can multiply by 1.5 on both sides, which says that if we earn, it would be 9 coins, we collect 9 coins, we would earn 12 points. Okay, so our table is completely filled out. Step 2 is now to create a graph from this. So just like we practiced in our first graphs lesson, we need to include all of the important pieces in our graph. So the first thing is a title. So maybe we could say video game points, something like that. And then we have to include labels for the x and y axis. So again, remember that y is the vertical axis and x is the horizontal. So we said x is always going to represent the number of coins that we collect, and y is going to be the number of points. Okay, so we have all of our labels and title filled out. Now we need to think about scales for the x and the y axis. So if we look at coins, we have 3, 6, and 9 that we're going to need to graph. So why don't we just count by ones? So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and so on. Again, because the highest that we need to be able to graph is a 9, so might as well count by ones. And then for the y-axis, the number of points, we have to be able to get up to a 12. Again, all of these are even numbers, so maybe we'll count by 2s, just to make it a little bit easier for ourselves. 2, 4, 6, and so on. Oops, it should be a 10 and 12, and we'll stop there because we don't have anything larger than 12. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is find the ordered pairs for all of our points that we're going to graph. So again, ordered pairs are just the x comma y form that we are able to graph. So the first row, x is 3, y is 4. For the second row, it's 6 comma 8. And the final row, 9 comma 12. So we're going to take all of these 3 coordinates, the 3 ordered pairs, and we are going to plot them. So again, for 3 comma 4, you always go over first, so over 1, 2, 3, and then up 2, 4. So there's our first point, and then we'll do 6, 8 for our second point, and finally 9 comma 12 for the third point. Okay, and then once again, think about for a proportional relationship, we can also plot 0, 0, right, the origin, because if you don't earn any coins, you don't earn any points. All right, and we can connect those ordered pairs, those coordinates, with a straight line. Okay, and I'll just zoom out. We've completed steps 1 and 2. Again, if you need to pause and rewind to look back at anything for that graph, please do so. But now we're going to dive into interpreting the graph. So step 3 is to find the constant of proportionality from the table, which you are experts in by calculating y divided by x. So again, pick any y number. Maybe I'll pick the 8, which means I have to divide by the 6. And that would give us a constant of proportionality of 1.3 repeating. So I'm going to put 1 with a 3 with the repeating symbol above it. Step 4, like we were used to, is writing an equation that represents the relationship. Again, just like you did on your quiz, our form for an equation is always y equals kx. And I'll box that so that you always remember that. Again, the only thing that we need to replace, substitute in, is that k value. So maybe we can go y equals 1.3 repeating x. And that would be the equation that represents the relationship. Taking the information, we know that constant of proportionality is about 1.3 repeating, or exactly is. We are going to look on the graph and see if we can find that. So again, the point that we always looked for is 1, k. So I'm going to jot this down and once again box it for you. Again, the 1 is your x value, right? So in order to find the constant of proportionality on our graph, we have to find where x is equal to 1, which is always on the horizontal axis, which is right here. And we go up and up and up until we hit the line, which I'll make it a blue point, is right about here. And again, I didn't mean to erase it, if you kind of look to the left and figure out the height of that point, it's about 1.3 repeating, right? And on some graphs, it'll be easier to see than others, right? But at least for this one, we'll be able to check that our answer makes sense because it fits on that scale. Okay, so again, part of learning about this is being able to answer these questions without using a table. So one of the ways that you can find constant of proportionality is just finding where x is equal to 1, going up and seeing where that point hits the line and looking at how tall or how high up that point is on the y-axis. Okay, so again, k for this one is still 1.3 repeating, but just a way that we could look at it from the graph. Okay, so if you flip your paper over, there is one more example that compares 3 different toy cars. It's comparing the distance that they can travel over a certain amount of time. So I want you to see if you can find, first question we're going to ask is which car looks like it's traveling the fastest. Okay, so hopefully you said that car A was traveling the fastest because it can get to the farthest distance in the shortest amount of time. So let's find the unit rates though to answer these questions. So again, we need to locate 1 on the x-axis, which is right here. And I always like to just highlight or just draw over so that you can see we're concerned about this area. And I'll just put black points here. So this is where the green line hits the 1, the red line hits the 1, and the blue line hits the 1. So for car A, again, here's the dot the point that we're concerned with. That's about 3. So we're going to say k is equal to 3 for car A. For car B, the red one, k is about equal to 1. You can see that point on the y-axis is about 1. And then for finally the green car, that point is about 1/2. So we can say k equals 1/2. So again, car A would be the quickest, car C would be the slowest. And once again, to wrap up, the point 1, k is very important on the graph because it shows us the constant of proportionality, which I'll call C of P. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful in learning how to interpret graphs. Again, looking to be able to answer questions without using a table or an equation. All right, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.